my honor and privilege to welcome you to our ribbon cutting ceremony. Tubman was a native of our great state of Maryland. After escaping to freedom, all while enduring painful effects from a traumatic head injury, Harriet Tubman selflessly made the decision to risk her freedom and life by returning multiple times to free over 70 enslaved African Americans. Later in life, Harriet Tubman housed and cared for many, including those with mental and physical disabilities. This year, we celebrate her 200th birthday. What an honor it is to commemorate her life and legacy with our new elementary school. I would like to thank our partners from the city of Gaithersburg, our mayor and councilmen, our neighbors, our construction and design teams, district leadership and staff for their unwavering support of our new school community. And I would also like to thank and recognize Team Tubman. Tubman staff, can you please stand or raise your hand and wave your hand so we can see who you are? Thank you, you may be seated. Each student who enters our doors will become leaders and champions for equity, just like Harriet Tubman. It is now my pleasure to introduce our inaugural PTA president, Mrs. Tahira Wheeler, followed by our superintendent, Dr. McNeefa McKnight.
Good afternoon, everyone. Behind us, we see an amazing building that has actually come to fruition over time, and much work, advocacy, and most importantly, community development that made all of this happen. And for that, I stand here with much gratefulness to everyone who is here and all who've been a part of this project. I'll first begin by saying today's ribbon cutting ceremony here at Tubman Elementary School marks the successful completion of years and years of planning. Just a moment I spoke about advocacy and conversations, and this is exactly what should always lead the work that we do in Montgomery County Public Schools. This new building was built to address the overutilization at the elementary school level in the Gaithersburg cluster. And this was a conversation that occurred during many board meetings. Our board members have been a part of hearing conversations from our families and saying there's something that we need to do. And here we are today. I'd like to commend many people for making this happen. First, our project team for designing such a fantastic building. Isn't it beautiful? And we're just outside, right? So imagine how students and families are going to feel walking through the building on that first day of school where there's so much anticipation and excitement about the year, and our students walking into a building saying, this is how much my community cared about me so that I get to walk into a space like this for learning. We're going to have consistency with our new school designs as a result of many lessons learned from this project. This building has a few natural features that I want to talk about that are natural, and we're highlighting that in many of our building plans. And one, I'll talk about natural light. This building has natural light in all classrooms and ample access to technology. So when we talk about natural light, we know that's really important in an environment in which we're looking at all the pieces that make our students feel well, and so that they have access to things that just keep them engaged throughout the day. Again, a moment ago, we were celebrating how nice it is to have sunshine today. And so we've taken that into consideration in the design of this building. And as we know, technology is a really important part of how we engage our students when they're in the classroom. And this building shares all of those spaces as priorities in our building plan. I'd also like to share that the adjacent play area and athletic field with the city of Gaithersburg and the local community is here and available for our students and families. In partnership with Montgomery County's Department of Health and Human Services, this school is going to have not only linkages to learning, but they're going to have a linkages to learning suite where those members can come in and be a part of serving the needs of the community here within the school building. And we think that's really important because as we think about all the services that we provide through linkages of learning and that the staff provide here in the school building, we know that it's really important when everybody can come together in one space and talk about all the things that are needed to be in play and in place for students to be successful, and that's successfully academically as well as mentally. I am just most excited about Team Tubman. As I got out of my car and walked up, here they are lined up, showing their pride and excitement as they should feel about the work that they are going to accomplish this year. I'm so proud of you, and the smiles that you have on your face I know are going to mean so much to those students when they walk up on the first day of school with excitement, anticipation, nervousness, but it's those smiles that's going to bring immediate comfort. And I want to thank you for all that you've done to make this all come to a reality. And Dr. Griffith, for your leadership in bringing Team Tubman, and I like the branding of that, okay? We're going to be talking about Team Tubman and the work that you do throughout this year, and I know we're going to learn a lot from all that you do as you start from a foundational perspective in this community with students who attend this school. And so I am thankful for all that you do for our students, and I know our families share the same, and I'm delighted to have an opportunity to participate in this great opening here at the new Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School. Thank you so much.
I'm just so excited to be here. I guess the name Harriet Tubman means so much to me. You know, she was born in Maryland, and people don't realize that this is actually the only school in Maryland that is named for her. Sure, Howard County had one. They had the first one, but it was actually a segregated school, so it's been long closed. I would also like to thank the Montgomery County Executive and members of the County Council for funding this project. I'd like to thank the City of Gaithersburg Mayor and council members for their unwavering support during this whole process. Together, we've made this day possible with the commitment of our county leaders, partnerships, and community leaders, and the vision of the board. We have created a new home here in Gaithersburg for nurturing our county's future. We have made an investment in the children and families in this community. The Harriet Tubman School is designed to create an environment that amplifies the energy and excitement of teaching and learning, providing space for collaboration, community, academic, and social emotional growth. I hope for all of you teaching and learning in this space, you're able to live in the spirit of Harriet Tubman, a passionate, persistent, and fearless warrior for justice and freedom. Not content with her own freedom and safety, she gave all to ensuring the freedom of others. She said, "I have heard their groans and sighs and seen their tears, and I would give every drop of blood in my veins to free them." A philanthropist, a spy, and so much more, discontent with what life could imagine for her, she imagined and shaped her own life based only on her will. It is that persistence, determination, and belief in the ability to create a life, even where none is imagined, that I hope permeates this school and informs everyday teaching and learning here. I'm delighted to be here today, and I want to congratulate everyone for their hard work. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize members of our city family that have joined us today from our city council, Ryan Spiegel, Neil Harris, Lisa Henderson, Jim McNulty. We have former city council members Mike Sesma and Lorianne Sales. We have our city manager, Tanisha Briley, our deputy city manager, Dennis Enslinger. And as Dr. McKnight mentioned, I mean, she talked about there being natural light, and I'm melting here, so I believe her on that point. She also talked about this being the result, the culmination of many, many years of labor, and I can attest to that as well. For us, forgive me, because this has been so long for the city of Gaithersburg advocating for this school and getting to this moment. I'm going to take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit about the history that got us here. It really started for us about 15 years ago when it became clear that capacity issues were going to be a real problem for schools in the Gaithersburg cluster for the foreseeable future, particularly at Gaithersburg Elementary, at Summit Hall, and Strawberry Knolls. And after many years of testimony and advocacy to the Board of Education and from the city and from members of the school community, notably people like Melissa McKenna, who I don't think is here, and Oscar Alvarenga, who was going to be here. Oh, he's in the back. Oscar, you deserve a round of applause, too. After many years, MCPS got interested. They saw the light, and that we needed a new building. That we needed to build a new elementary school in this cluster. So in 2017, MCPS formed a committee to evaluate potential sites, and after a few months, the committee recommended asking the city of Gaithersburg for a piece of our beautiful Kelly Park on which to build a new school. Now, giving up a piece of a park, especially a beautiful one like Kelly Park, is never going to be an easy decision. And it's not something that the city would ever set out to do, but that was what was before us, these competing priorities. And over the next couple of years, we held hearings and work sessions and received mountains of testimony. And as many of you here today know, some of those testimonies from the public were in favor of allowing our park to be used, a piece of our park to be used for a new school. But there was definitely a motivated, organized, and forceful contingent of neighbors who were against the project. And I don't want to minimize their position, particularly for people who don't have kids or whose kids were older than elementary school level. They looked at this and thought, surely, what am I getting in this new school? And why should I want to give up a piece of this lovely park? I get that, and we all do. So it was a tough issue, and after roughly 2 years of hearing from all sides and considering the pros and cons and discussions with MCPS and high emotions all over the place, it came down to a vote on April 20th, 2020, about a month into our COVID lockdown. We were just figuring out how to do Zoom meetings. It was not always pretty, but it came down to a vote that night, and the council members approved this project by a 4-to-1 vote. And it was such a highly charged and consequential matter that I want to recognize the people who were council members at that time and who voted in favor of this school, because there was real political risk to them in that vote, and they deserve credit for taking it. So I want to call out Neil Harris and Ryan Spiegel, who are currently on our city council. And I want to call out Mike Sesma and Lorianne Sales, who both stepped off the council. But Lorianne will very likely soon be serving us in a new capacity on the Montgomery County Council. That's a different story, but we salute her for that. But were it not for their votes, we would not be cutting a ribbon here today. I'd also like to note that while Jim McNulty was not yet a city council member, he testified in favor of the school project several times as a member of the public. And I want to furthermore recognize our Educational Enrichment Committee, who was represented by Stacy Simon here from the city, and all of our staff who helped get us here. And in particular, I want to call out our former city manager, Tony Tomasello, who did a tremendous amount of work in negotiating a deal that, in my opinion, struck the optimal balance of serving an incredibly important need for our students and school communities, while also adding value to our park and to our recreational programs and amenities for the community to enjoy. And Tony could not be here today, but I actually heard from him this morning, and he wanted me to share with everybody here today that he believes this school is one of the best things he did, or he helped do, in his career for the city of Gaithersburg. So here we are, just 2 years from that vote, just over 2 years. We have a beautiful, can't stress it enough, we have a gorgeous new school. It pays homage to Harriet Tubman, one of the great heroes of American history, whose Underground Railroad came through our state. We have a new school community led by our principal, Dr. Kavina Griffith, assistant principal, Rashida Thomas. We have improvements and enhancements to our beautiful Kelly Park. This is a great day for the city of Gaithersburg. So, council members, I want you to join me up here. We decided to name this day. We are calling August 24th, 2022, Harriet Tubman Elementary School Day in the city of Gaithersburg. You are welcome. Why don't you
So I just want to start by thanking MCPS for trusting us for building this school. I know Seth Adams will tell you many times I was a name dropper along the way. It just happened to be my wife, who's sitting in front of him, that I kept dropping names, say, look, Seth, I got to build this school for you. And I also told him that we're going to end up finishing this job, sliding in head first, tapping the plate as we went by. So we will get there by Monday, I promise you that. bar rain now. You know, every project is special to me. It really is. But this one truly is special to me because, you know, my wife, Stacy, was an educator here. She was an administrator here, and she ended her career here at MCPS. And for that, you know, like I said, I had to build this school. And I do appreciate that, Seth, and giving us that opportunity. I know firsthand the excitement through Stacy of opening a new school, of the first day of school. So all you teachers and administrators, enjoy your first day because it's going to be phenomenal. It really is. Now, Dana Edwards mentioned to me, she said, so you're responsible for building this school. I said, no, I'm not. I said, there were 1,000 people who are responsible for building this school. So I would like to thank some of those folks who helped us along the way to get to where we are today. And I do want to start with MCPS. Seth Fariano, thank you very much. Chris Darrelou, I don't see Chris here today, but Chris was integral in helping us finish this job. Jeff Rotz, Steve Riddle, Rob Ewan, Rob Powell, Maurice Butt, Larry Renner, Seth Adams, and certainly we couldn't get through here without Terry Miller. Terry helped us get to where we are today. So MCPS, thank you for trusting us, and thank you for being there for our support to get this open today. We heard about the design, SEI. We worked with SEI throughout the design phase. Dave and Marissa, absolutely gorgeous building. Thank you for doing that for us, giving us this palette to actually build by. And then I want to talk about our team, our Skansia team, led by Bill Lemley. Bill, could you stand up, please? And Brian Kleinschmidt. These two led this team through a lot of controversy, a lot of challenges throughout. I don't know if you're all aware of the challenges we have with inflation going on in the world today. With supply chain, anyone order furniture recently and get it like 6 months from now? Every piece of material in here we had to track because of that. We had to make sure that we didn't fall into that trap, and we were able to open this on that day. A few others I would like to mention: Grant, Bianca, Valerie, Steve, Keyshawn, Tavares, Diego, Tom Strawbridge, and Juan Torres helped us along the way to get this building open for you. But last and not least, this goes back to the thousands of individuals. Over 120 subcontractors built this building for you. You walk through that building and every tile is laid by an individual. Every ceiling tile is put in by an individual. It's individuals that build buildings. Like teachers teach our students, people build buildings, not the name Skanska, not MCPS, and not the designers. It's people. And that's what we have here today. This is a culmination of over 200,000 man-hours went in to finish this school. So I want to applaud those folks for getting us to where we are today. And I'm just going to end with a few facts that I think to me are very important to me as the GM of this region. Construction is a very dangerous business, as most of you know. But I got to commend Bill and his team back there. We had 2 first aid injuries on this project. 2. They were back to work within an hour. That is tremendous. So Bill, for that, I applaud you. We had over 20%, over $6 million of subcontractors awarded to minority contractors, subcontractors for this project. For that, I applaud our team for making sure that happened. And last, Dr. Griffith talked about Harriet Tubman, born September 1822. 200 years ago, a great leader came into this world. Now, today, we get to cut the ribbon for you teachers and administrators to teach the next leaders coming into this world. So thank you very much.
Yeah, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Try again.
Scissors never go.
There you go.
We give honor to all of those who have come before us. And we champion ahead in fulfilling her dream. As we close this ceremony, I would like to leave us with the words of Harriet Ross Tubman. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world. Thank you.